this time. Making all London feel so new. Beginner and terror too. Detroit Roman fingers dancing on the front, dancing on the front. And when you think that it's true, it's not nothing yet, it's not nothing yet. I be always by the presence of Sparrow. When swing a gun with the tail and the shouting, don't go, Sparrow, don't go. Calypso, Calypso, Calypso music, yeah, yeah. Calypso, 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 music, singing oh yeah, Calypso, singing oh yeah, Calypso. I say that I am the seed of this my love. I wanna go, oh yeah, Calypso. I wanna rise from the 21st bamboo cut, and we drag it down from up in the St. Anne's Hills. From the day the first shot will leave the band, the regiment started today, the jamming still creating rhythm that could be deadly like Henry. Only this time, this lyric and the melody was sending their song to the boundary. From the bongo drum to the road at the casa. And ever since Europe come and she make massa massa, we jamming it. Calypso, Calypso, Calypso music, yeah. Calypso, Calypso, music, singing oh yeah, Calypso, singing oh yeah, Calypso, singing oh yeah, Calypso, singing oh yeah, Calypso, yeah. We gonna sing it in a London, Calypso. We gonna sing it in America, yeah, Calypso. We gonna sing it in Africa, Calypso. Hear how we spell it. We gonna sing it in Europe, love that. C-A-L-Y-P-S-O, C-A-L-Y-P-S-o. You hear the part where he say, from the time the first bamboo was cut and we drag it down from up in the St. Anne's Hill, from the day the first shot will leave the band, the real jamming start, and today we jamming still. I wonder if they're ready for me tonight, boy. Sunday night, you're getting a video. The man call it Sunday night mass. Sit down next to him is his copy of the Holy Bible. What is going on tonight, boy? You think they're ready for this? With gasoline. To the people of Canada, if that post about Trudeau telling you all that from the 15th of December the non-vaccinated will be locked down, if Mr. Trudeau could find a law that gives him the authority to change the rules of the democracy mid-step between elections, burn it down. All fire need is an accelerant and a spark. Don't take that bullshit, not from anybody.
Light up the night sky. Fire. To the people of Germany, Australia, Austria, this is war. This is time to stand for yourselves. Do not wait for them to take police officers and soldiers and army officers and redo the terms and conditions. Those people didn't sign up to be police officers and soldiers and law enforcement, to be turned against the people of the country. The whole thing is bullshit. To the people, listen, stand up now. Stand up. The whole world. To the people of, where's the one with the fat man who get his head bust? To that country, where he does run? St. Kitts, I don't even know where he does run. Talking about police will be considered not members of the police service. Every police officer should be their brother and sister's keeper. And as he said that, everybody, take off your uniform and lay it on the ground. Tell the fat ass, you go and be the police. You go and be the police. That's what you have to do. Stand up against them. Tell them in the face, we didn't vote for you for that. We didn't vote for that. Tell them straight up. What's his name? Ralph Gonzalez, that fat ass. Tell him. You want to fire one police? Fire all police. And when we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, when you see a place say they're not sharing, they're not selling, when you see they say they're not serving non-vaccinated, nobody must go. And when they say they're firing one member of staff because they're not vaccinated, all members of staff must stay home. Tell them, come and flip your own blasted burger. We have to stand together. This is war. Tell them it's war. What war?
You free them, but run for your life. You free them, you see this. You free them, but run for your life.
What do you ask Ralph Gonzalez is the prime minister for 500 years? Retire him. Shut the whole country down. Everybody take off their uniform and rest it on the stairs of whoever is on the prime minister office and say, put this on, your fat ass. Come and be the police. St. Vincent. St. Vincent don't have another person to run for prime minister. How this jackass is the only person there? This rounds you're gonna find out. All those who is convenient activists. Shut it all down. Shut it all. All they're rewriting law, all they're rewriting the rules and the terms and conditions. Police officers telling me, Mr. Phillip, we didn't sign up for that, you know. They're giving me orders and instructions. They suffer we can't pay with court's bill. SRP getting paid late, 10 days, 14 days, 21 days late every month. You have these people under pressure, so you have no choice but to go out and do all your nasty instructions. It's time for everybody to understand your single right as a human being is to defend yourself, your rights, your liberty. The pursuit of that collectively is... Do not use the law enforcement people to come out and oppress people standing up for their rights. That is bullshit. That is bullshit.
Afraid of no man and no boy and no woman, no girl and no thing. Came here to battle and fight for my life when I'm hearing them sing. They come out to bust head. People they melting like they want to bust head. No matter what they do, me I go come to them. We be getting like they want to come for me. So tell them come for me. Tell them we don't friend nobody. All of them will walk on front with anywhere we go. We friend nobody and friend no people. Tell them we don't friend nobody. All of them will want to stop. We tell them we don't friend no woman friend no stick and friend no dinner. I say Olive. We go come out hard to find them like we name total manna. Olive. We go come out hard to find them like we name total manna. Tell them we don't afraid nobody. All them bad mind people them who try to Dr. Masha, Dr. Masha, they're really safe like in energy. Hit them with powder, tell them all the stink and dirty. Stink and dirty. Run for your life. I think I will run for your life.
Tell them they stink and dirty. When police officers went to sign up to be police officers, they never knew that governments around the world was going to use police officers to oppress citizens of any democracy in the world standing up for their rights. That's bullshit. That's pure bullshit. You're changing the terms and conditions. You're changing the terms and conditions of which the people respect police. Police job is to protect and serve and to keep the peace, not to oppress the citizens in the practice of their democracy. If you are changing the rules and the terms of the conditions of a democracy where you were voted into office, you cannot restrict people's movements because you can't take care of a virus. It dying, COVID done, and all your racing and all your rushing, trying to turn it into something it's not. Making up, when Africa tell you 6% of 1.4 black people, 1.4 billion black skin, all they didn't care about Africa. 1.4 billion, they are more African than China in the world. 1.4 billion African, 6% vaccinated, lowest COVID on the planet. So I was waiting to see, well, they're black, no, they're dotish, no, they just live in the river, no, they just chew ivermectin like candy. Whichever it is, let me do that. Let me be black, let me be dotish, let me go and live in the river, let me chew ivermectin like it's candy. Whatever it is, them doing, walking, being black and dotish and chewing ivermectin and living in the river, walking because your vaccination partner, that you're walking, all you're killing people. All you're killing people.
Some clash. So you want bacchanal? Give me the tempo. If it's bacchanal, they want bacchanal, they going get. They want to sing about mash up. They want to talk about mash up. I am the king, I am the boss. Most of all, I am the doctor. Tell them all.
I wanted to come with a plate of fries, boy. Because I want to tell Devant. I want to tell Devant Maraj. Devant, come from here. Partner, I have length and time and inclination for you. I grow in my beard. I'm going to grow my hair. I'm coming for you, you know, Devant. Because I want to know, PNM buy you for a plate of fries, boy. A plate of freaking fries. And I want you to come with my fries. And my sippy cup. So let me ask you that, Devant. This jackass wrote about, I wanted to come with my fries and my sippy cup. But then I said to myself, Phillip, if you raise the profile of a video that Rhoda Barra do with Devant Maraj and nobody take the two of them on, leave them alone, partner. The garbage take itself out. Suzette Lauer is asking why the country's default opposition, natural elected opposition, has a problem with the PNM government for trying to institute a new voting system in Tobago that affects 56,000 people of the country, where even though the UNC is not running for election, that is a local government system, THA, and it is responsive to central government, of which the UNC is the opposition. But you see, Suzette Lower is a jackass, and I keep telling you all, she is a jackass. She is a masquerading stunt artist. She's want to come and bring her cleavage and a little piece of red girl ass and show you, and let me talk some politics for you. Let me go and research. That is what a Devon team, you know. It was Devon, Suzette, and Vassant. I used to remember when Suzette used to be around me, and Devon used to be sending shit for Suzette to bus. That child is go and research shit and then come back. She's go and look it up. She's go and Google it and then come back and then read it for you like she know it, like she understand it. She tell Trinidad, I'm coming to run for government. Like you could run for government by yourself. It's when everybody in politics laugh and embarrass her, she pulled that back. She still can't build no party. So her new logic is, I never was really supposed to run for government. I will just be here busting mark and making my people feel safe. You're not making nobody feel safe. Hush your mouth, you don't know what you're talking about. Is the opposition work? Whose job it is, you think? Yours? In Holland? In between your dinners and your outings? To decide, oh, let's talk about the PNM is trying to usurp the election in Tobago. Who is supposed to wait on to talk, Suzette? You? Your foreign news man? Tell us. We waiting with bated breath. You, Devon, Vassant, Rhoda Barrett? Who is supposed to wait on, Suzette? You think you are the first person trying to play enemy in plain sight? They're talking about Warner and Rowley and the piece of Bacchanal and the banditry that went on with the townhouses. This is the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth townhouse Rowley by this way from developers that are going to expose him. I come in with that. He went and sued Brandstone. I see Piper sprang a Syrian, jumped back out himself to talk about Brandstone. But that's the next one that living for a handout and for somebody to pay for his Tampax and his lipstick. But I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. We are at a point in our democracy where if we don't stand together, we're going to lose everything. Not to that blackface jackass, you know. Not him. He's the clown, he's the front, he's the fool. The people you're losing it to, making the hundreds and millions and the billions. Rowley still settling for Tulum sugar cake and Benebol, discount apartment, when people thief 100,000 acres of land, where people thief in TSTT and TNT and Port and Wassa. Rowley still settling for a discount apartment here and a discount apartment there. So they're here to worry about, you know, these jackasses behind them. So I want to tell you something. You see that Suzette Lower girl? I'm going to keep exposing her. Right now I see her followers down to about 15. Every now and then she gets she little likes and she little shares. When she show up, she bamsy and she cleavage. But when she come to talk politics, they just ignore her. And that's what you have to do. Ignore her completely till she understands how irrelevant she is. No jackass. You go in and Google, or you go in and talk to Devon and Vassant to find out what to say to come and play that you're jamming UNC. Miss me with your bullshit, eh? I have UNC to carry, but that's the country's opposition. And if you don't know how the shit works, shut up. Somebody send me a portion of fries and I say pick up now. Let me see if I could play the part of the NLCB duo. Two of them used to get paid from NLCB. He before and she now. Devon, we know you're looking for a work. You're looking for a work and you went too hard against UNC with Basan. So you could never go back. So what you waiting on right now? You, Abdul Richards, Vasan Bar, the rest of all you trying to play Indian for hire in a PNM party. Because that is magic for the PNM. Look. We are racial at all. Look, we have Indian running for we. Ain't. your talk. Suzette, come back for me now. When I tell you, I know you know I'm holding back. I know you know I'm holding back. I waited. Call my name now.
He promised to fire next time. He promised to fire next time.
Call my name.
He promised to fire next time. Next time. And who is there, the bad wounded? Who is there, bad wounded? Who is there, the bad wounded? Who is there, bad wounded? Talk it all, you mocking pretender. I check your legs and I'm confess you. All too long, you're fooling the children, filling the heavy with much education. Doomsday reach, wipe and the repeat, cause the children come to take back the feet. The power of the word in the conscious styling. The power of brand new word, the power of the word in the rap so styling.
Rocking the roots of the vampire system.
Talk it all, you mocking pretender. Talk it all, you bloody deceiver. Talk it all, you serpent master. Talk it all, you friggin' oppressor.
You see, this morning, I was able to go with pride outside Highland Park and say, I get Wassa and TNTech to solve a problem for you, and I get Wassa to solve a problem for Goodwood Park. And I killed 2 stones with 1 bird. I get the 1% to see that all the bullshit here, back telling all you that I don't like Syrian people or I don't like 1% people is not that at all. I love my Syrian people. As a half Syrian today, I light up my coal and I still have charcoal smoke all up in my nose. I have to go and bathe and shampoo my hair. That's why I dress down so nice tonight. Because whole afternoon, I'm making garlic chicken for my father and kibbe. And we sit down there and my whole family eat Arabic food today. I cut up the fig myself to put in the salad with the parsley. Harry back telling all you, I don't like Syrian people. I love Syrian people. I don't like corrupt people. I don't like people who involve in drugs. I don't like people who involve in money laundering. And not all Syrian people involved in that. But because they have a handful of them that, they want to hide behind the good and decent Syrian people. And they have Harry back working for them. But I come out for all you know. Because you see this bullshit? This time in Trinidad and Tobago, we either accept loss or we fight and save our country. And the easiest way to fight and save this country, the easiest way is to stand united. Nobody needs suffer in Trinidad and Tobago. God bless this country. Trinidad is the most blessed country. But for some political charlatans, for hire, dinner with the enemy. Like Devon is your enemy. Devon done sell his soul long time ago. Playing, he throwing a tantrum. All of them want to tell Kamala how to run the UNC. Ask them, who you want to replace Kamala with? Vasant? Vasant Bharat can hit a straight target with a homing device that Vasant Bharat is at best, at absolute best, a convent girl politician. He is at absolute best. All they want to sell his presentability at a time when the country is at war with itself, where people killing people, where prisoners sending shots for prisons officers, and the Prime Minister coming to say, we're going to stand with all you now. So why you wasn't standing with them before? It's like Rohan said, we're setting aside money to pave road. Jackass, you are the Minister of Works. You have one job, paving freaking road. The budget that you get every single time they read a budget is to pave the freaking road. So if you wasn't paving the freaking road before, what you was doing with the money? Where the gasoline tax going that Coleman them collecting every time we put a liter of gas in the car? Where that money? Where the money from the IDB, that Guardian and Express put $200 million road repair? Where that money? So if you have to set aside money to pave the road, where the money was going? Where the money was going? Because you're one work, Sinanan. This is not a grocery where you have to decide what going on the gondola and what going over the chiller. Maybe today we having a special and 2 for 1 on Baji and Bodhi. This is not that. This is a job where you have one work partner. That one job. And I'm telling you, Rohan, we just give you a pass, you know. We just give you a pass. But brother, you have one job. Pave the road. So Sabga News Network is saying you're setting aside the money. So I just want to ask, for money to set aside, it had to be going somewhere. Where it going? If your whole work, brother, is paving road, and your whole budget is for road paving, if you have to set aside money now, the money was going before. And I'm telling you all, I'm telling you all this. So you hear me? The day she called my name, the day she insinuate anything at all, I coming down like a ton of bricks, because I wanted her done. I wanted to walk on. I have exposed her as a tool of the PNM UNC Indian for hire cabal. That's what's going on. The PNM hairy back and my Chinese partner with the white powder grooming a little section of former UNC Indian to bring out at election time to say, look, a handful. But you see, some animals can't hide from their own stripes. Today, the HDC put out a picture of the whole board, 9 people. My Syrian partner asked me, but what the poor Syrian boy we couldn't get on the board? Not a Chinese, not a Syrian, not a Indian, not a white, not a Carib, not a disabled person. Where's the diversity in the HDC? And Penelope Beckles, this falling on you. Now I know if you call them shots, girl, but them is some bad shots all you call. Where's the diversity in the HDC? Former Senate President tell me, never trust a government that will promise to do in the future what was well within their authority and means to do in the past. Now they like call for the mama tamon, the Nike gone, the gold teeth gone. They want the bucket full of blue silk. They want the statue drinking full cream milk. The little red silk is not their true friend. The blue one have to extra. Come down in the Gael. All who have things to say, come out now. Let me light it up. No more hiding. No more choking. So you put out a whole post about Warner calling for the head of the Integrity Commission to stand down because Keith Rowley declare the apartment he get from you on a form that the public don't see, and we don't know if that is true. But you want the Integrity Commission chairman to resign. Partner, the man who's supposed to resign is the Prime Minister, and the police launch an investigation into if 2 of y'all supposed to make a jail, like AV Oil and Rowley. But we live in a country where we could bullshit and bullshit more, where we could put police puppet to run the police service, where we could have the media eating from we plate of food outside like dog. So if you don't publish what we tell you to publish, you have no money to get. That is who's supposed to be being investigated right now. Did Keith Rowley commit a crime by accepting a gift of that substantial nature from a man who benefits from contracts from the government? That is a criminal act. Where is the Director of Public Prosecutions? Where's Afra Raymond and the rest of where's Kirkwaite? Where are the serial writers and complainers? Where's Sunati Maraj? Where are you all? Where's Asha Javid? Where you all? If this was UNC, Dominic Kalipasad squeeze. But they can't tell me that with a straight face. As a liar on a wall, he said, this is it, this is it, this is it, I've been hit. But no time to give up, brother, no time to quit. A chant of a madman. It's the only solution. It was a chant of a madman. Let me get all of them to answer now. Let me get everybody to answer now. You know how? Gloves off. Gloves off. Shit talk done. You know what? End the shock doctrine bullshit. Alright, I go suffer and I go starve for a couple months. I go eat dal and flour and save and fry it. And I go call that something and eat it. And I go be happy. But time for the bullshit to done. You want your children. You want your children to grow up in a country that works. You want your children to grow up in a country where they're safe after you're dead and gone. What kind of world you want to leave behind for your children? What kind of country you want to leave behind for your children? When you're dead and gone. When all the pieces go back in the box. When everything that was yours to decide is no longer yours to decide. What do you want to leave in your wake? behind when you're dead and gone. All of y'all. Penelope Beckles, do you really believe in the ideology of this PNM? Let's be honest. Penelope Beckles, I'm calling on you to answer because I think you're a woman of integrity. And if you're a woman of integrity, you can't be camping out in that PNM. You cannot. And say that you're a woman of integrity. You need to, at this point, realize that you're lying down with dogs. You are lying down with rabid dogs. And it is not going to work out well for you. I want to call out Amory Brown, but Amory Brown ran out of everything that used to make him somebody of value. Amory just waiting to stunt in the parliament, and he don't care who pay for that ticket. He just want to get there and move like a slow calypsonian. You ever see Amory in full flight in the parliament? He's talk and he just smile and he just wait for, like he waiting for the applause. At this point, insert laugh track here. Well said, Mark. That is a Mark Buster. So said, you want to see a Mark Buster? Call Amory Brown. He just do your homework. You write it down. They say pause here for effect. Pause here for effect. Raise your voice here. Raise your voice here. Accelerate here as you're going. Accelerate. Pause. Beam to the cameras. Beam. And let them see you beaming. That's the bullshit that passes for politics in this country. The difference between politics, what is going on now, and governance, real governance. Keith Rowley would have found out today that he is being investigated over that apartment that he and his daughter and whoever else get. But they play this game because it is rumored forever that Rahal and crew get permission to build Renaissance, which was in direct contravention of the limits, the terms, and the heights that they could have built in Shorelands when they bought Shorelands Hotel, because nobody was buying Shorelands Hotel because there was a limit to where you could have built. And Rahal and I think Gillen was involved in that one too. Whoever else was involved in that kakada, they get past, they weasel past, they slip in. Because Rowley was not only a very important minister, I think he was planning or housing or some shit. But more importantly, he was the MP. So they went to him, rending their garments and crying tears. And Rowley was telling him, I hear you. All the while, the lies, the long knives, cutting the throats of the residents. There's nothing we could do, We tried, we investigated, but they get around it. And it has been rumored forever, brother, that you have apartments there. Do you have an apartment in Westridge Villas in your brother name or your cousin name, your mother name, your sister name? Rowley, do you? Because if we do our investigation and we trace where the money going, does it find its way back to you longhand, through three hand, third hand, fourth hand, somewhere else in the world? Tell me the truth, my partner. Is it true? Do you get as gifts? Because anywhere else in the world. And the same people who defended Rowley was balling for Trump. And balling for Trump's daughter. Look what you're doing. Look what they're doing. Hypocrites. A bunch of damn hypocrites. Because the truth of the matter, and I say this again, let me say this clear, before I play the next song, I don't think that the UNC has any moral authority to question the PNM on its corruption. I think the UNC is rotten to the core, corrupt beyond measure. I think that there are too many people in and around the UNC that like maggots on a carcass. No different to the PNM. But the difference between the UNC and the PNM, and I have to give them this, is that the UNC don't hate people like PNM hate people. UNC used to at least try. Used to spit in your face, but used to give you a napkin after to wipe the spit. PNM will spit in your face and slap you after. That election that Tobago facing tomorrow, boy, Tobago, boy. When a man wants you, boy, he tell you everything you need to hear. Oh God, your hair nice, your skin glowing. You could be teaching autistic Montessori students who are deaf, and they interest you. Tell me more. They want that bad. The only thing that more driven than a man who want to get in your pants is a spranger who want a hit. You see a spranger who want to hit, you just see them all inside their skin just be scratching. I remember once a fella come to check us in Chagaramas when we was building the Blue Iguana, what became the base. We had a truckload of gravel that was dropped on the wrong side of the building. And we needed to move that whole truckload of gravel to the other side of the building. We had one wheelbarrow, 3 shovels, and 2 buckets. And this Spranger used to come and check us. He used to get a little $20. He used to clean up. I tell him, I say, I'm going to get 2 paddles to come and move that truckload of gravel and you'll get your money. And they moved that gravel like it was on fire. And the only person who wants you more than that man who wants sex is that Spranger. And the only person more terse is a PNM politician. You see them in Tobago, they're telling you anything you want to hear. The bridge too high, we will lower it. It's too low, we'll raise it. That lean in, you want it straight, it's straight. It's straight, you want it lean in, we will lean it. What you want, tell me. The money too blue, we will make it purple. What color you want it? What you don't like? You don't like where Tobago is next to Trinidad, we'll turn it around. You want to go on the next side? We'll find a way. Tell me. Anything you want, we doing it. They're flagging it down by the traffic like, whole envelope of money now, man. Just because we like you. But where it was for the past couple of years, don't worry about that, man. We reach, vote for we. Tobago! Take all, Tobago. Take all. And vote for PDP. And to the Financial Intelligence Unit. Are you following what's going on in the election? To the FIU. Is there a limit on what could be spent? To the Financial Intelligence Unit. Are you monitoring where the money is coming from that the PNM is handing out in Tobago?
From the UNC and the PNM, COP in the political symphony. It's a symphony. TOP, MSJ and JC in the political symphony. It's a symphony. Stop taking it cool.
Don't be played for a fool. They're using race as a tool to divide, conquer, and rule. Justify their bull. The race card they always pull.
Lead vocalists have sore throat.
Keyboardists playing wrong note in this band
Of serial politicians.
Their lyrics not rhyming. Some have no sense of timing.
Of parliamentarians.
Save the room for the bubblists, perverting the course of justice, our democracy at risk. With a section called to the fore, music rotten to the core, who arrange the score.
So impure with the UNC and the PNM and the COP in the political symphony. It's a symphony with the TOP, MSJ and JC in the political symphony. It's a symphony. Corruption rebuff.
Say enough is enough.
The system will always fail.
Once Rowley and Warner, no morality. Occupy, occupy, occupy. That's not what he's saying, but that fit there so well. I want to tell Tobago something. Listen, look around. Besides what the NAR do, look at Tobago. You can't even get the deed for the land your mother leave that she mother leave for she. Look at Tobago. Look at it. It is NAR that developed Tobago. It is NAR that gave you all the port they want to build a port on. It is NAR that gave you your highways, not PNM. PNM don't give a shit about nobody. The only reason PNM in Tobago right now is because you have an option. If Lavantil had an option strong like the PDP, they would be in Lavantil tonight blowing smoke rings up people's ass. Just to get a vote. It's your vote you want. I keep telling Trinbagonians. And all you're not listening. Hear me when I tell you. The three things that upholds this country. Your labor, your consumption, and your vote. And in this country, where you can't fire them charlatans from office, every 5 years you take that bull. So be careful who you're getting into bed with. Be careful. You know what the PNM is about. The PNM give you nothing. Take from you, abuse you, leave you, send the little Tobagonian face, like how did they send blackface and beat them for the election, just to fool black people and tell them, we more black than the Indians, so you have no choice but to vote for me. Default blackness. 322,000 people conned and deceived in the last election, because the people who have been benefited, not waiting for $500 in an envelope, the people who benefited and given all of that money, come now man, them taken by billion and go. Billion. My brother-in-law tell me today, you must tell them again, what is the difference between a million and a billion? A million seconds is 11 days. A billion seconds is 31 years. See the difference? See the difference? Look around Tobagonians tonight. If you wasn't voting tomorrow, if you think two of them same thing, they're not. You know for certain the demon that is that PNM. And they've already rigged the election with a couple hundred votes in every seat. And we need you to overwhelm it. You see, if all the people who registered to vote in Tobago come out and vote, and then the votes number more than they are registered voters, re-election again. Cancel it and do it over. Don't take that bullshit. Don't take that. Don't take it. PNM just lie. They're led by a liar, a double-tongued deceiver, the father of lies, a Decepticon. Keith Rowley is the biggest liar in this country. That's King Liar. He is the worst thing to ever happen to Trinidad and Tobago. He worse than cancer. He worse than heart disease. Keith Rowley causing more people in this country misery than disease. They have countries where the people here in Boy only have cancer. They say, well, yeah, but at least we don't have PNM. PNM worse. PNM worse. It is destroy you from inside. It is corrupt you. And it is rotten what you have and give it to other people. All that you're worth. Every single citizen in Tobago was a born millionaire. Where your money? They thief it. And coming back to give you $500. They thief it and not for themselves. They're so blasted stupid. You know if you was an intelligent thief, I gave you the blind. But you're stupid, you're thieving third hand, you're thieving for other people. And settling for small shit, Tulum friggin' thieving. The people of Tobago, each and every one of you was supposed to be a millionaire. Living large. Not your hand cut up pulling sane. Living large. This country had $3 trillion. If a million seconds is 11 days and a billion seconds is 33 years. A trillion seconds is 33,000 years. We had enough money in this country for 99,000 years. That's what they thief. And the children in foreign countries, living on the top floor of big apartment buildings in New York City, in the rich people section, not in Queens and the Bronx, where police stopping you to check where in your pants pocket, in places where the police stop and they say, good night, sir, how are you, sir? How's the madam? How's the missus? Everybody's good? Nice to see you. Stop being played for fools. Take the 500. Don't refuse it. Take it. Say, give me one for my cousin now and my sister. She live in the back by me. Take all. Take all. And you know what to do? Take that friggin' picture of the... They want the picture in the polling station. They want you to break the law and take a picture. Boy, put a mark next to PDP and send them that picture and say, choke on this, you son of a bitch. bitch, while I was waiting on my grant, because all they make me stay home for 22 months. My children lick that plywood table to feel something in their belly. They eat dirt, they eat mud. All they have me making flour pop to put children to bed. And you want to come now and tell me you care? Take that, you son of a bitch. I want to tell you something. They have nothing the PDP could do. Boy, they have nothing PDP could do worse than PNM. At the worst, they can't be as bad as PNM. PNM stink and nasty, and they're well organized, and they're fronting a corrupt bunch of criminal funny money traders. That's who the PNM is, the People's National Movement. The people in People's National Movement is not the black people of Trinidad and Tobago, and it's certainly not the poor black people of Trinidad and Tobago, because they've been there for 59 years. And if they had any intention of doing anything for poor black people, how is Morva, Beetham, Lavantil, and Sealot so? How? How is River Estate and Patna and Bagatelle so? How? How is Covine and Rich Plain and La Puerta and Saganga and Abbey Pujad and Big Yard and Lansmitan and Scorpion and St. Peter's and Caranage? How it's so? If the PNM really care about poor black people, they would have drive up in Cocoree, they would have seawater hole. They're a seawater hole, because when you seawater hole, you're either a good and decent person, you want to help them, or you're a hateful demon and you laugh at them. And for 59 years, PNM laughing. There is a place in Cocorite between 3 PNM constituencies, Diego Martin West, Diego Martin Northeast, and Diego Martin Central. It's across the road from Bayside, 8 lanes away from an apartment building that is sell apartments for $10 million, is Waterhole. And you know why they just laugh at Waterhole? Because inside Waterhole, them don't have water. And the little poor black youths used to run across that highway to go and fish in the little mangrove there that they cut down to build Peaks gas station. Because that was a fishing village right there. Everything from John Street at the start of Western Main Road to Cocorite to where they build Powder Magazine, all that was fishing village. That gas station that Peaks buy, that turned into that massive mall. You see how much land Peaks reclaim? Peaks reclaim a piece of land big like Tobago. Bayside Towers too. What? You go and see. Go and see what they reclaim. That piece of land, that gas station Peaks buy, was a gas station that was about 6 feet wide. Off the road, off Western Main Road, boats used to pull up right behind there and get gas from that gas station. That's where the fishing boats used to go and get. Bayside Towers, close off the road. Close off, they put gates. So now, what was your right before? You now have an easement. A day will come when for a purpose, something could happen. They might call it COVID. They'll close those gates. Once. See if you beat up, if you're lighting on fire. They'll open it back. 2 months will pass and they'll close it again. Beat up, lighting on fire, but you might light less thing this time. And they'll find out who in charge of the lighting and jail them for something or bribe them. Your mother have a bill in court and for 3,000. I just pay it off for she. Stop burning thing when we close the gate. All right, now, boss. Either jail them or bribe them or terrorize them or relocate them. Or they have a HDC house, you can move them to Crab Boy. Once them gone, nobody enlightened nothing. Them just bring the plywood. And then a day will come when the gates will close permanently. And the young people will become old people and they will tell stories about when they was young. They used to fish. Can't fish no more. See them gates? Before them gates was day. Before Massacre man put up the gates. And there is stink sickness of the PNM that they're very good at fooling poor black people into thinking that the P in PNM, the people in PNM stands for poor black people. But it doesn't, because the overwhelming majority in the probably 80 percentiles of people inside the jail are poor black people. Can't afford lawyer, can't afford bribe. Them inside there, on remand. There are people on remand who can't pay to come out. They can't pay the lawyer. They can't make bail money. So they're inside there for crimes that if they had plead guilty, they would have served a 2 years, a 3 years, a 4 years. They in there 10 years. The Chief Justice, the DPP, the President, the Commissioner of Police. Those 4 people, all of them, all, none of Syrian, none white, none Chinese, none Indian. The majority of people on remand are poor black people. And they can't afford bail, they can't afford lawyer. Telling me not one of y'all thinking, maybe the Chief Justice should say to the Commissioner of Prisons and the person in charge of the roster of cases, bring all to me. I want everybody who's been on remand for cases that are there longer than they could have served, so we could vacate that matter, sentence them to time served. The President of the Republic could then pardon all, and let those poor black people suffering in jail, whose mother and sister and wife and children have to make up. But the lawyer say he need an next 3,000 for him to appear, you know. And if he don't appear, and if we have to take that file to our next lawyer, the next lawyer says 15,000 to start, because that's the racket. That's the racket. A case run forever. So a matter that should have taken 1, maybe 2 appearances on its 20th appearance. Ask the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago if anything I just said there might be true. You see, this is why we ask for a commission of inquiry into the criminal justice system. Because not only it will expose why Mr. Semte cases was out on Semte charges, but it will expose the revolving door of our justice system, and it will expose why cases go on so long. And we need that. It would also have exposed any bail racket that Andrea Barrett might have uncovered, which a lot of people are suggesting. But in this land of rumor and make-believe, I don't know. So I've called for a commission of inquiry into the criminal justice system, and 128,500 people signed that petition. So Tobago, 3 times as many people as there are Tobagonians voted for something and never get it. You feel after you vote you have anything to get if you vote for the PNM? I have 40,000 voters in Tobago. If all you vote tomorrow for the PNM, all you never see what they promise all you. PNM promises never materialize. Ask the 128,500 people in this democracy who signed a petition asking for an investigation, a commission of inquiry into the criminal justice system. How is it that the Commissioner of Police doesn't know that there are people in jail on charges from the police, summary offenses that they could cancel because they're in jail too long? And he will be doing the police officers who have to keep traveling to court or taking days off to go to court on these trivial matters that should have been resolved in 48 hours, that's still dragging on. He'll be doing them a favor. He'll be taking millions of lost man hours off the police books for going to court for cases that shouldn't even exist. We spend more money housing prisoners in remand than all the money the prisoners in remand thief. We spend more money transporting prisoners between jail and court than all the money everybody in remand thief. We spend more money operating courts repeatedly for matters that should have been resolved within 48 hours of the crime than the value of all the money everybody in remand thief. That's at least 3 times that we take a hit for something that should have been resolved in a country where we want it to make sense. And President Paula May Weeks should want to champion this. She was a judge. She could call other judges and ask them if this is true. Ask the magistrate if she don't know. If she was never in the criminal justice system, she could find out. She could call the commissioner of prisons. They could ease the overcrowding in the prisons and focus on the high-risk issues. And if we unclog the logs and the register and the docket in the court and free up all their millions of judges' time and hours, imagine what could be done with the actual serious crimes. Vernon de Lima estimates, and he is one of the most knowledgeable criminal defense attorneys in this country's history. He estimates that there are people on murder charges who will never have their matter brought up for our next 30 years. What is going on in our prisons is a human rights atrocity. The last time humans were treated that way, the world went to war. The world went to war. But it's poor black people. Problem is, it's not like they're waiting for a black government. The PNM that says, through its talking heads in the media, that its base is Afro-Trinbagonians, who when they send in Fitzgerald Hines to beat his cookie broom, he goes beat him, he doesn't go Goodwood Park. The base, they say this is your base. So it's not like the poor black people of Trinidad and Tobago whose family on a charge. When Sandra say he named her Brad, he named her Brad Boyce, that is the black man choice. Oh, you know what she's talking about? You know what Sandra was talking about? Listen to that song, Voices from the Ghetto. Your son in jail for manslaughter, no bail for he. I ain't judging, you know. I'm saying fix it. It is inconceivable. A country this wealthy. There are people, Justice Zainul Hussain, Justice Michael de Labastide. There are people outside there. Bring back Anthony Carmona as a justice. Put the three of them together and tell them, here what? Clear the backlog in the jails. Clear it. Create a panel. Bring the head of the Prison Officers Association. Put him on that panel. Put Wayne Sturge and Vernon de Lima on that panel, because Wayne Sturge had about 80% of the cases in that jail. Put them together and tell them, identify all the people who are in jail longer than they should be. And let them go. Release them. Pardon them. We are making a mockery of the rule of law in this country. People tell me that they are living near the 1% and the 1% don't like me because I'm the only person who's talk 1% business. As the only person who's be talking about these things, because every single thing is a racket. Everything is a racket. We've developed ourselves into a racket nation because of the PNM. It's corruption from the top down. This is the book Eric Williams write, How to Thief. So teachers who getting paid to teach children in class, not teaching children in class, and telling the parents, listen, your child could do well in exams, but you had to give them extra lessons and I could help you for $500 a week. So the child going home by the teacher, for the teacher to teach the child, the same thing he get paid for, she get paid for to teach them in class today. We have doctors in the public hospital telling people they can't fix this here. Don't even let them try, because your child will dead. You go get sepsis. This place bad. You never hear about this hospital pigeon landing on patients during surgery. Don't do that here at all. Come by me. We're going to do you a favor. It's 50,000 normal, but we're going to do it for 30. If you raise at 10, we're going to start. You're going to pay the rest in installments. Like the dentist who everybody go get root canal. A fella went to deliver mail. He didn't even have a dental appointment. He get 2 root canal. A young fella. And then they have people willing to sell their soul to uphold that. Because they realize they're politically dead. They're a waste of time. They can't build a party. They can't start nothing. So the most they can do is trade their piss between PNM and UNC. That's all they can do. Trade their piss between PNM and UNC. And then they want to talk about we. They want to talk about we, who at least trying. Who at least trying we best to give the people an option. They want to talk about we. They can't do fart all but talk. Fart all but talk. Look at where we are. Look at where we are as a country. And if you cannot pin responsibility for everything on the PNM, you don't know or you don't care. And that's sad. And as long as you don't have no children, sell your soul, son. But if you have children, if you have children, it's them you're selling into bondage. And at least have the decency to free them. Poor black people in this country have never been represented. The PNM has ridden them and sold them into bondage repeatedly. The people of Trinidad and Tobago at the bottom rungs, just talking about who in jail. Let's talk about who on the bottom rung of society, who living on handouts because the government has never seen it fit to create a proper run country where the education system delivers 100% success into a tertiary system. And a tertiary system don't have to be only academic. Straight out of there, you could go into technical trades. Straight out of there, you could go into different fields that the country needs. You could go into things that Trinidad needs, that the COVID pandemic just exposed. That is the most important careers. And you could send them straight. You prepare them and you send them straight. So in Form 3 and Form 4, they learn how to read technical drawings and they understand what that geometry pan was for. And you give them an opportunity to become master welders and master draftsmen. A draftsman could make $8,000, $10,000 a day. A day, not an architect, you know. Not an architect, a draftsman. Every freaking thing from fashion design to house building requires drafting. And if you train them in school to use the drafting program, will you make them millionaires? And I don't understand. You end up with about 3 acres of land down on Nelson Street. And instead of creating places where you could give the children a chance at life, so that even if they don't stay in this maggot-infesting, latrine, fly-filled shithole, give them a chance so that if they land in America as a nurse, as a welder, as a mason, as a carpenter, as a grade 1 plumber, as an electrician, as a technician, as a lineman, give them something. Linesmen in America, this make upwards of $2,500 US a day. And the higher you go on the line, is the more money you make. Nurses are in demand the world over, and they will always be in demand. We will never automate public health care, the service part of it. You will always need nurses. Why we not? There is something called a nurse practitioner. We never even look at that. I told you all about that since 2017. If we had nurse practitioners in this country, we'd have beat the shit out of COVID long time ago. Nurse practitioners is more than a nurse and less than a doctor, but they're capable of administering serious medication, treating and diagnosing. They could handle up to a point. We're even considering that. But you could train these little black girls. You could train them to be nurses and then nurse practitioners. So if they don't want to stay in the fly-infested, maggot shithole Trinidad, this latrine pit, if they want to go, let them go with a chance. They deserve it. They're born to be a millionaire. They're a shareholder, a stakeholder, and They should have something to show for living in this country other than misery and regret. They should have something. Black people in Trinidad and Tobago must be able to watch black people in America and say, you know why I staying in Trinidad? Because the government here black and they just take care of we. But black people in America just get treated better from white government than black people here. Tell me a lie. Because George Floyd family get money. Christopher Phillip family ain't get nothing. They ain't know where the man buried. All you know is Christopher Phillip, but some of y'all know George Floyd. Because Black Lives Matter. But in Trinidadian and Tobagonian Black Lives don't matter to Trinidadians and Tobagonians who think American Black Lives Matter. Because in America, the law works. So you can raise your voice. Here, it's like pissing in the wind. The only person getting wet is you. I lie. Every time I see somebody outside Super Farm, outside West Mall, outside the high-low Massey stores with the sign, I have 3 children, I have 5 children, I have 8 children. Every time, I just want to stop and say, go Balize House. If enough of you are outside Balize House, the media can ignore you. Social media won't ignore you. And then you will get something. Because the PNM go have to feel bad. You go shame them. So you're thinking that if I go by Massey stores in West Mall, I go bounce up some Syrians, and I go bounce up some white people, and some people who not black and suffering like me. That had to be the idea. Because you're not going by Payless. Go by Balize House and stand up outside Balize House. The same Brian Manning who wash him out on the woman who sleep on the constituency office steps that he getting to occupy. The taxpayers pay for. Wash him out on her the night he on oxygen. Karma is a son of a bitch. Or they don't play the fool with that, nah? Yeah? Tobago. PNM don't like nobody. But you know who have something to prove? PDP. You know who have something to prove? Watson Duke. Watson Duke want to whine on them. I know, I'm telling you. Give them the chance. The people who are the most valuable to you is the people who are number 2. That if you give them a shot, will do better than number 1 ever did or ever could. Tobago, I want to talk to those of you who get our $500 or who must be get a washing machine from Courts. Chalana tell me they empty out Courts in Tobago, Gainway Appliance. I want to tell you this. You might be thinking tonight that you owe them. You don't owe them a shit. They never thought that they owed you, and it is your taxes that has been paying their salaries. That $500 you get back is what you pay them for the last week. That's what you pay. You contribute to the $100 million a year that pays public servants at that level, not normal public servants. I'm talking about elected officials. That is $100 million a year. And your $500 that you just get, that's your money. That's your money back. They owe you. If you was thinking about voting PNM tomorrow, trust me now, take a chance. Take a chance for your future. You can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. One of 2 things will happen. PNM is central government, and they will say, you see, we will come and rescue you. We go work wrong THA and take care of you. So next time you go vote for we. Or PDP will say, you see, and next election you will make sure Tobago East and Tobago West is PDP too. You have the opportunity to improve the value of the lives of every poor black person in Tobago continuously, not just now. You see how they're hustling you, loving you up, taking you out to dinner, want to whisper sweet nothings in your ear just to get in your political pants? Well, imagine if you could string that along for the next 3 years. Because if you vote PDP tomorrow and the PDP win every district in Tobago tomorrow, the PNM come in to whine you and dine you until they have a next election. That is in your best interest. Vote for the PDP I don't want nobody coming on my wall and talking any shit tonight. I'm not taking it. Tonight we're just dealing with these issues. And we had to finish them. We had to put them to bed. This is not sell your soul for a portion of fries and a cokes. This is stand up for your children's future, for your country's future. Sandra, tell them what we're fighting. Tell them what we're fighting for. This is PNM, die-hard community. The ghetto is a ghetto because they trust PNM. That's the only thing she leave out the song. Lavantil born before Goodwood Park. Who have it nicer? No running water. Ask water hole. Go and ask Jill. Go and ask the woman outside Massey with the sign. Who loving them? Ask them. Ask them to knock on Amber door and say we suffering. See if you don't slam that door in their face. Who making you cry? PNM. Rich Plain have an upper Rich Plain gang and a lower Rich Plain gang. Down the road is Western Police Station. You think if they're interested in Rich Plain can have two gangs? It's one road in and one road out. You think Rich Plain can really have two gangs? They play the ass with all you. They're making you an ass. All them little black women with a sign outside Massey stores. Who they think caring about them? Who are them so? 10 people in a one-bedroom shanty? HTC spending billions of dollars every year enriching contractors. Go outside Magistrate Court tomorrow. Go and watch them mothers outside Magistrate Court. Husband in jail. Son old enough, he in jail too. Cause she hungry now. She want little thing. Push a man buying for she. You can't buy it. On that 10 days work, you're working 3 jobs a day as a security guard. You can barely pay the light bill.
Very often, since some men in a coffee one night, in bed you're sleeping, next night is a way that you're keeping, so you pray to win the lotto, not to hear their voice.
Why poor black people in this country have to win a lotto to escape the ghetto? Why the PNM that build the ghetto not responsible for the ghetto? Tell them tomorrow in that election, fix every ghetto in this country. Don't come back by way. Don't come and beg for we vote until you can put water in the pipe. Listen to that half Syrian Phillip Alexander. He telling all you, he breaking it down for you. Hire him, he say he go work for free, he's a jackass. But hire him, let him put water in the pipe for we. Who responsible for the ghetto? It's PNM die-hard community. They have real good people in this country, in the police service, in the justice, in the law, in the courts that know and want to work to fix it. Ask the PNM who blocking them. Ask PNM who blocking them.
Revolution transform. And not in their tragic story.
Sell papers for Sabga.
No wonder they feel the world with scorn. Since the day they born, some call them rebels without a cause. These social victims of unjust laws. Yet they Christmas.
Some call them rebels without a cause. These social misfits of unjust laws. These are the children who we just disrespect their mother when they get caught. You see, If you watch your family suffering and you watch them hungry, they just jail a 19-year-old boy today for murder. Jail a little black 19-year-old boy today for murder. If he was in America, I tell you, if they could have get he out, he could have been on his way to a better future. But he trapped in the Royal Imperial Majestic shithole banana republic that is this maggot-infested latrine pit that is Trinidad and Tobago. If that little 19-year-old black boy was in America, was in England, all them places where they talk about racism, here we don't have racism. Here you just don't matter. They don't care enough about you to be racist towards you. Here sell your soul and hurt you. How you explain it that we so disgusting that we don't understand the suffering they're suffering, and they hard to deal with. They grow up wild. They literally grow up wild. I'm telling you, I in the construction business. When you hire people and you just wonder and you just try and you see people in their eye, they almost feral. You know that they know that what they're doing not right, but they really have no choice because this is who they are, because this is what they live and this is what they know. That any chance they get, a man breaking by us, thief with chop saw, with grinder and another tool, and forget where he thief it and come back by we to sell it away. And he was working there. My security guards on our job site, thief out thing, and we taking care of them. And when they come to me with a sad story, I helping them. I help workers and employees get HTC houses. I have a worker used to work for me living in a Diego Martin plannings. I give him my whole $3,000 Christmas tree. I say I ain't putting up no Christmas tree this year because I overhear him talking about his mother and his sister and how he trying to get a Christmas tree for his sister. That same man turn around and disrespect me. But you have to understand, and you can't hate. You can't hate because you have to understand that you're dealing with people that they've been broken. Social misfits of unjust laws. And that is the level we have to come to. Because if we only react to where they are and keep talking, good boy, when we see them get killed, then we will never fix it. And we will drive that wedge deeper.
It's of unjust laws. But yes, they christen the heroes. Renegades, desperados. Forever knocking on heaven door. Let me steal and music shut as the sun. I'm on it to conquer the violence. Big men run when cops approach.
Fighting for scraps like cockroach.
Young talk, young talk.
This song, every time I listen to this song, I hear something else. And every time I listen to this song, I think this is the greatest piece of music of any kind I have ever heard. Of any kind, from anywhere in the world. Of any type of music. This is not just the best calypso I know. This is the best song of any kind. The writing that went into this song, you could see this fellow, Christoph, that's his name. Christoph Grant, I think is his name. You could see this man understand what he was writing here. He knew it. This ain't no one draft. This thing takes some precision. Every ball that come down that wicket get hit out the park. Hear this line.
And run when cops approach. Fighting for scraps with the cockroach. Young talk, they're talk protected. Almost every young girl expecting. So tomorrow, best is all. Let me another child to crying.
Tomorrow there will be another child in the ghetto crying. So she just slipped that in. She got a national award for this song. So I asking the people of Tobago, who built the ghetto? Who responsible for the ghetto? Who have the power tonight to turn things around for everybody in the ghetto? You know they're training people to say, how them is small islanders come and live here. Them is we guests. Them is we family. Either put them out or treat them better. We can't have people living like dogs. You ever went in Sealots? How much of y'all ever really went in Sealots? And don't just drive by. Go in somebody's house where they live in Sealots. You ever went in Cocorit? Seriously, that hill that just passed, when you're driving to go Goodwood Park and Bayshore and Westmoreland, across the road from Bayside, them lights you see on the mountain. You ever went in somebody's house there and see how those people live? How to get home at the end of the day, they walk up that mountain. Some steps that they cut into the mountain themselves. You ever see how they live? And not wonder, why would anybody live so in a country that had this kind of money?
Social amenities God heaven know. Opportunities, well, them always close. Can't get up once in white collar. If I can't stretch me dollar, later for me crack or smoke me pipe. Some just out of death and crime. Life does rape, dignity and pride.
I will never ever hear a better line in a song.
Till there's only bitterness left inside. And every day is a hustle. Arguments are settled with muscle. Till you're 6 feet deep by 3 feet wide.
You're only bad as long as you're alive. Arguments settled by muscle. Every day is a hustle until you 6 feet deep by 3 feet wide. Well, listen to this one once again.
Children, should life keep on drifting? Something they're smoking or sniffing? Or maybe they're trying to forget this life of misery and regret. No one to come to the rescue except Capleton and Bourgeois. So they boom boxes the Lego. Till there's only bitterness left inside. And every day is a hustle. Arguments are settled with muscle. Till you're 6 feet deep by 3 feet wide. Watch. Children, should life keep on drifting? Something they're smoking or sniffing? Or maybe they're trying to forget this life of misery and regret. No one to come to the rescue except Capleton and Bourgeois. So they boom boxes the Lego. The drum voices into the crack. Children, should life keep on drifting?
Children, through life, keep on drifting. It's something they're smoking or sniffing. Or maybe they're trying to forget. This life of misery and regret. No one to come to their rescue except Capleton and Bourgeois. Hear what she's saying. Hear what she's saying. These children, these social misfits of unjust laws that drifting through life, that smoking and sniffing, trying to forget this life of misery and regret. Any child in Goodwood Park, any child in Gulfview, any child in Valsane know that feeling. Any child from Bayshore know a life of misery and regret, no hope, nobody to come to their rescue except the people you're listening to on the radio singing, life is a hard and a hard, hard life.
Something they're smoking or sniffing. Or maybe they're trying to forget this life of misery and regret. No one to come to the rescue except Capleton and Bourgeois. So they boom boxes the Lego. The drum voices into the crying. They're still crying. They're crying and they're crying. Crying and they're crying. Yeah. Was this from the ghetto? Children.
Tobago, the PNM has had legislative and economic power in this country for 45 years. Tobago, the PNM has had complete legislative authority and total economic power in this country for 45 of our 60 years. Tobago, PNM has had economic power in this country for 45 years. But more importantly, they had economic power during the two biggest booms we've ever had. And if PNM ever cared about poor black people, Morvan Beatum, Lavantil, Sealots, Patna, Covine, River Estate, La Puerta Saganga, Mason Factory Road. Those communities couldn't look like that. And back there couldn't look like that. Look at how these people live in the back of Shoguanas. Go and see anywhere that they have a PNM diehard community. Go La Hoqueta, go Talparo. Anywhere you see a diehard PNM community, all you're seeing is misery, squalor, poverty. The people who live in those communities, labeled parasites, criminal, they profiled. Black government, black police, black people in the majority profile. Can't go in certain communities. Walk in fairways now. The people in fairways get vexed. I walk through fairways and film every street to show poor black people in this country. And what is hard for me to grasp is that there is nobody trying to explain to them that the consumption of the black community in this country, 1 year sacrifice, you could buy Ansa Maciel cash. You could buy out Sabga. 1 year of the consumption. If poor black people in this country, poor black people, sacrifice and put our money in a hole and pull it at the end of the year, they buy Clico cash money. I never understand why not to this day they don't have a single leader to guide and show them how to go forward.
Should life keep on drifting? Something they're smoking or sniffing? Or maybe they're trying to forget this life of misery and regret. No one to come to the rescue except Capleton and Bushu. So they boom boxes the Lego to drown the voices into the crying. They're still crying. They're crying and they're crying. Crying and they're crying. Yeah, yeah. Voices from the ghetto. Crying. 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 Yeah. Voices from the ghetto. Thank you.
Empress singing Sandra, she should have died a queen. They should erect something in her honor, but she, oh God, oh, she just raised herself up singing about the struggle. They laugh. God, she come to sing Kobo song again. Who want to hear about this? 500,000 people in this country. 500,000 people in Trinidad and Tobago live below the poverty line. The poverty line. It's not that they're poor. It sounds normal. We should change it to live below the catch us and suffer line. That line is the line the United Nations has said no human to maintain their dignity should live below. No human being should live below. And we have 500,000 of our people living below that line.
The first responsibility that devolves upon you is the protection and promotion of your democracy. Democracy means more, much more, than the right to vote, and one vote for every man and every woman of the prescribed age. Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means the equality of all in the eyes of the law. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment.
Everything I stand for.
I repeat, and in private employment. First responsibility that...
I want you to listen to Eric Williams and hear everything that I preach every night that the PNM was supposed to be founded on, that has deviated so far from. I want you to listen to a PNM that had 59 years from this speech. This was Independence Night. This is the night that we got independence. This was the roadmap. This was the plan. We're going forward from here. From there, we got $3 trillion, $3,000 billion, $3,000 million. That was enough money to give $3 million to each and every citizen who was alive at the time.
That devolves upon you is the protection and promotion of your democracy.
Every night that I do this is to protect and promote our democracy.
Democracy means more, much more, than the right to vote, and one vote for every man and every woman of the prescribed age. Democracy means recognition of the rights of others. Democracy means the equality of all in the eyes of the law. Democracy means equality of opportunity for all in education, in the public service, and in private employment. I repeat, and in private employment. Democracy means responsibility of the government to its citizens, the protection of the citizens from the exercise of arbitrary power and the violation of human freedom and individual rights. Democracy means freedom of worship for all and the subordination of the rights of any one race to the overriding right of the human race. Democracy means freedom of expression and assembly and organization.
See what the PNM did with the police against the protesters in the savannah? That was not democracy. This is your father of the nation. This is the founder of the PNM. This is the Eric Williams who wrote this PNM into existence, telling you that everything the PNM is now has deviated from what the PNM was. This is not Eric Williams' PNM. This is a criminal construct. This is a front for the contract mafia. This is not governance. This is not democracy.
All that is democracy. All that is our democracy, to which I call upon all citizens to dedicate themselves on this our Independence Day. This is what I meant when I gave the nation as its slogan for all time: discipline, production, tolerance.
Mr. Speaker, I see hate. Mr. Speaker, I see bitterness. Mr. Speaker, I see acrimony. Mr. Speaker, I see animosity. And Mr. Speaker, I see a man completely out of control. Completely out of control, Mr. Speaker. That is what I see. And that problem is not a new problem to me, you know. I was aware of the tendency for the honorable to go out of control since 1987. Mr. Speaker, I see hate. Mr. Speaker, I see bitterness. Mr. Speaker, I see acrimony. Mr. Speaker, I see animosity. And Mr. Speaker, I see a man completely out of control. Completely out of control, Mr. Speaker. That is what I see. And that problem is not a new problem to me, you know. I was aware of the tendency for the honorable to go out of control since 1987.
But today, I told you yesterday I come to deal with Bim and Bam. Yes. These two political fools, Rowley and Hines. Yes! Rowley and Hines. Citizens of TNT, you lucky is only one away, no one. You're lucky.
I went to the
But
Prime
you know, one away is not enough for me. Citizens of TNT, citizens of the Republic, in 2012, in the month of January 2012,
Well, let's tag some Tobagonians in this video now.
citizens of TNT awoke to the news that the former political leader of the PNM party, Patrick Manning, got a stroke.
Tag Brian Manning. You have nothing to do in the hospital.
It touched many of us.
Tag Brian Manning. Let him hear this.
Many of us. This week, many members of the PNM, thousands of PNM, were taken by surprise, in shock, in utter disgust, to hear a comment coming from the political leader against the former leader of the PNM. Now you know this man, Rowley, he loves to sue. He have the attorneys, Faris Alwari, Stuart Young. Well, the Ballad Rasta is a waste of time. Full of talk and chat. Chatter. Yeah. So, I brought the recording here because many people have been calling me even before I come here. Many PNM people have been calling me and saying, Gladiator, this man is going too far. Dr. Keith Rowley. And rather than you unite the party, these are the things that you are saying on a platform. You decide to talk about Obia and direct your Obia to the former leader of the party. Let's hear track one first.
I'm from Miss Hall in Tobago. Miss Hall very close to Liquor 2.
I didn't hear that clearly at all. Let's hear that again one more time.
I'm from Miss Hall in Tobago. Miss Hall very close to Liquor 2.
Ah, you're bad, you're brave, you're bold. I'm from Mason Hall. And Mason Hall close to Liquor 2. Eh? Let me hear it again.
I'm from Miss Hall in Tobago. Miss Hall very close to Liquor 2.
Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. Yeah. You ain't say Mason Hall close to Moriah, but you say Mason Hall close to Liquor 2. Because you feel that all of we are a bunch of dunce. You see, God do not sleep. He might wear pajamas, but he don't sleep at all. He don't sleep at all. Patrick Manning is not in the politics. Patrick Manning is relaxing and trying to recuperate from the stroke he received in the month of January 2012. I want the listening public. We're going now to the next track because I'm going to play the whole track that I want to play for you all. Because some people didn't hear it at all. But it is my duty to monitor every statement. That this, bim, and the next one, bam, the Ballad Rasta. Because y'all are two political blights in the pain. And then I told you, Rowley, I told you that you're not fit to be prime minister at all. I told you that because you have venom in you, you have spite in you, you have too much hate in you. You're just like Jack Warner. And Jack Warner trying to carry the torch for you. Because Jack Warner knows that you will never be prime minister. Let's hear what this man has to say about Patrick Manning.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it.
Wait, play that again. Play it. And you hear the woman laughing, she happy. Let me hear that again. Let me hear that part again.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it.
Hear the laugh. Hear the laugh. Yeah. Because you knew, and you paused because you knew they got the message. We go into the real track here. Play it.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Colahart and Utica.
Tag Brian Manning.
To me. I was put out of the cabinet.
Tag Brian.
The person who put me out regretted it.
And you want to be the next prime minister.
This is the demon they're playing with.
I went to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago in August 2003.
In August 2003. You hear his words? I went to the Prime Minister, Patrick Manning, in August 2003. He said he took issue. That's why he went locoto and give them a spirit lash. And he gave Manning a stroke. He say he went to the Prime Minister in 2003. He telling you in that speech that he took issue. But you know the problem I have with this Decepticon, this father of lies, is that this speech that you're about to hear, he is telling it in 2009. So you went to the Prime Minister in 2003, but you sit down in the Parliament for 6 years and eat Parliament food, eat cabinet food, drink cabinet wine. In between 2003 and 2009, there was a general election in 2007, and you fight for the PNM, and you fight for the government that you say is more corrupt than the UNC. Which is it, father of lies?
I went to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago in August 2003 as a Minister of Government in Trinidad and Tobago, a PNM Minister, and told him that there was bid rigging taking place in Utica. What the Commission of Inquiry is looking at is 10 times worse than what happened with Biako Airport.
Now, the man who bust the mark with Biako, you know. Biako is estimated to be $1.5 billion stolen. He said that Colahart and Utica stole 10 times 1.5 billion, which is $15 billion. He is saying Utica, led by Colahart under Patrick Manning. He is saying in 2009 that Patrick Manning knew that his government was corrupt.
And it's even more brazen. The PNM is on trial. Because those of us who were here and carried the O'Halloran stain, we cannot take the position that this is all talk. In 1986, when we went to campaign in my area, I was there. I don't know who else was there. I was there. And you're going door to door, and you're slamming doors in your face in Westmoreland, in Glencoe, in Bayshore, and all the time to campaign in my area. I was there. I don't know who else was there. I was there. And you're going door to door, and you're slamming doors in your face in Westmoreland, in Glencoe, in Bayshore. Went to campaign in my area. I was there. I don't know who else was there. I was there. And you're going door to door, and you're slamming doors in your face in Westmoreland, in Glencoe, in Bayshore. When we went to campaign in my area, I was there. I don't know who else was there. I was there. And you're going door to door, and you're slamming doors in your face in Westmoreland, in Glencoe, in Bayshore. I went to campaign in my area. I was there. I don't know who else was there. I was there. And you're going door to door, and you're slamming doors in your face in Westmoreland, in Glencoe, in Bayshore, and
every time I say Mova Bitam Lavantel Silots has come back and say River Estate, Bagatelle, Covine, Rich Plain, Mason, Factory Road, La Puerta, Saganga, Abipujad, Big Yard, Lance Bitan, St. Peter's, Point Kumana, Caranage. You know what that is? That is where the poor black people live in his area. That is where the majority of people live. in his area. But Keith Rowley was never from Diego Martin West. Keith Rowley was put in a PNM safe seat by Patrick Manning just to be an attack dog for Ramesh Lawrence Maraj. And that's Keith Rowley whole work in the politics. So Keith Rowley didn't know. So when the heifer and the rest of the, how to say this, the political elite of the PNM, the contract, children of the contract mafia, adopted Keith Rowley, he thought that his area, because that's where he goes, Goodwood Park, Bayshore, Glencoe, Westmoreland, he ain't name a single black community. He ain't name a single ghetto. And 90% of Diego Martin West is ghetto. 90% of Diego Martin West is ghetto. Of the 42,000 people living in Diego Martin West, 39,000 living in squalor and poverty in PNM diehard communities. Keith Rowley didn't know Rich Plain didn't have water for 62 years until Jehul Brown told him, because I was in the parliament when I was running as an independent, and I went and I lobbied Wassa to come and put a fella named Hooker, the man, they kill him, they kill Hooker, Hooker dead, Hooker get murdered in this country. Hooker was one of the best fellas working in Wassa. You could go to Hooker and try and get a thing done for poor people, and Hooker and them came and put water for Rich Plain for the first time in 62 years. Upper Rich Plain get water because Phillip Edward Alexander was running for election as an independent candidate in Diego Martin West. Not even UNC. This son of a bitch, Keith Rowley, and whoever was the councillor for the area at the time went and tell the Integrity Commission, report Wassa to the Integrity Commission and tell, they didn't care. He didn't care that poor black people in Upper Rich Plain get water for the first time in 62 years, you know. That wasn't his concern. His concern is that Wassa did it for me. That Wassa responded to me. And as a politician, he thought Wassa was endorsing me. That's who you're voting for tomorrow, Tobago. That's who wants you to vote for him again. You can make no mistake, eh? Not a single candidate that exists in the PNM got so without his say-so. Every single person in the PNM today owe their allegiance to him, and they will do what he wants them to do. He and they complained to the Integrity Commission, but Jehul Brown said, but Mr. Opposition Leader, you know that these people have not had water for 62 years, and it didn't matter to Keith Rowley. They were a means to an end. The people of Rich Plain. When you hear this man talk about his area, he didn't mention River Estate. He didn't mention Bagatelle. Bagatelle is one of the most poverty, is the most squalid, suffering communities in this country. Bagatelle. He didn't talk about Rich Plain. He didn't talk about Covine Road. He didn't talk about Mason Road. He didn't talk about Factory Road. He didn't talk about La Puerta. I walk from Bagatelle to Caranage campaigning. Now I could tell you, you could tell the PNM communities from Diego Martin Main Road, all of them connected by Diego Martin Main Road, and you could tell just walking down Diego Martin Main Road by the condition of the infrastructure, by the condition of the drains, by the condition of the pavement, by the lack of empty lots, and if they have empty lots, how they're maintained. You could tell when you're walking down Diego Martin West, when you're walking down Diego Martin Main Road from Bagatelle to Caranage, you could tell when you reach poor black people communities. You could tell when you reach PNM diehard communities. Because when you reach outside all of the communities between Rich Plain and La Puerta, which is the last thing before Four Roads, all them little middle class communities, Mary Avenue, and that run up the side of that mountain, Margaret Avenue and Mary Avenue, and those streets that exist before La Puerta and right after La Puerta, because La Puerta climbs a hill of poverty, a hill of complete poverty. Right after La Puerta is Manning Street, and Manning Street want to be a middle class street. Congo on the corner, Then you reach Four Roads. From Four Roads, you have Goodwood Gardens. Goodwood Gardens is the start of the sweet spot. Victoria Gardens. After Victoria Gardens, Goodwood Gardens is Westmoreland's North and the first street to Goodwood Park. You pass a building, Goodwood Heights, that everybody referred to as Alimony Alley, because there's a set of middle-class women that end up divorced and the husband buy an apartment in that building. Goodwood Heights that go to Goodwood Park, you drive through Westmoreland's North. Columbus Circle by Westmore didn't exist then when that was talking. Sajiko, Guardian Life get to backfill what Bahadur Singh couldn't backfill, who built Westmore. But Columbus Circle is a next big shot area. Westmorelands by the sea, Regent's Park, Bayshore, Shorelands, Glencoe. The office of the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin West is on the corner of Glencoe, opposite the corner for Shorelands. Goodwood Park. Those communities exist in a small bubble. But his area that he calling his area start in Bagatelle and end in Caranage, Point Cumana. That everybody who go down the islands has passed. Don't look up them streets at all. Lansmitan and Scorpion and Big Yard. You don't go up there. Hear him again.
Went to campaign in my area.
He ain't no one ghetto community in the Martin West.
Door to door. And they're slamming doors in your face in Westmorelands, in Glencoe, in Bayshore, and all they tell you about is O'Halloran. And today, every school child in this country knows that there's something called Unicott, and it smells to the high heavens. It smells to the high heavens.
This same Keith Rowley, this father of lies, this Decepticon, this deceiver, his government is suing me for defamation for calling out the same Unicott that just spent $500 million renovating the Red House. If it was Kamala Prasad-Bissessa in office, this bitch and David Abdullah and the rest of the PNM-centric media, Sunati Maraj, Dominic Kali-Prasad and Asha Javid will be twisting their nipples to make themselves cry, to say, look at what the Indian Party doing. But Keith Rowley and the PNM spent $500 million. Government ministers, cabinet ministers' wives got contracts instead of a commission of inquiry like the UNC did. This bitch, this liar, this deceiver, this Decepticon, him, this tool of the contract mafia, what did he do? To shut me up, unleash senior counsel, $100,000 bills for law for legal fees, for Unicott to sue me. It is a groundbreaking case. No statutory organization, no state company could sue a taxpayer. Right now, that occupying the judge's time. How to deal with that? Because we appeal that. How could a state organization sue me that I fund you? You have to account to me. That same organization spent $108 million putting a roof on some floors and some doors on President's house. $108 million. $7 million to upgrade. This is not renovation, to upgrade a cottage that the former president lived in that ain't worth $2 million. You spend nearly 5 times the value of the cottage to renovate it. He wants your vote. That deceiver, that liar, that tool of the contract mafia, Keith Rowley. Tobago, I only doing this video tonight to beg you, rescue Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago, I know a little bit of your history. Between the two islands, you're stronger, you may be smaller, but you're a lot more powerful. Tobagonian people, I tell people already, I know Tobagonian people who don't have two matching sides of the same slippers, but they own the land they're standing on. Tobago, I am doing this video tonight to beg you, to ask with PNM and UNC, give something new a chance. Tobago, I'm begging you tonight. you have a chance to rip the band-aid off this seeping gangrenous sore that is politics in Trinidad and Tobago and give us some breeze. Let some sunlight and something fresh. Let me kind of air it out. Let me try and give everybody a message that something new could get a chance. And I bet in my political future on the PDP, because if they do shit and we come to you as the PEP to tell you we also want a chance, we can't, because you're going to say, but look, you support PDP in Tobago and they do shit. How to take a chance? Because I know for certain PNM is the author of our destruction. The entire country becoming a die-hard PNM ghetto community. All of the middle class. PNM is the cancer. PNM is the comorbidity. COVID ain't killing us, you know. PNM killing us.
This country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet and its political party and its cabinet. Its prime minister. If this country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet. If this country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet. If this country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet. If this country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet. If this country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet and its political party to say we are not accepting that, then God help us. If this country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet and its political party to say we are not accepting that, then God help us. If this country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet and its political party to say we are not accepting that, then God help us. If this country cannot call to order its prime minister and its cabinet and its political party to say we are not accepting that, then God help us. Why should people be sacrificed so as to allow others, wrongdoers, to prosper? Should people be sacrificed so as to allow others, wrongdoers, to prosper? Why should people be sacrificed so as to allow others, wrongdoers, to prosper? Why should people be sacrificed so as to allow others, wrongdoers, to prosper? Why should people be sacrificed so as to allow others, wrongdoers, to prosper? That is what we've been called upon to do, colleagues. That's what we've been called upon to do. And those of you who think that I'm being obstructionist, those of you who think that I'm being obstructionist, those of you who think that I'm being obstructionist, and those of you who think that I'm being obstructionist, and I'm being whatever you want to, what we are being called upon to do by a small clique of people in the country. Those of you who think that I'm being obstructionist, and I'm being whatever you want to, what we are being called upon to do by a small clique of people. Those of you who think that I'm being obstructionist, and I'm being whatever you want to, what we are being called upon to do by a small clique of people in the country is to support wrongdoing, pretend not to know, and see if we can ride it out. We are not going to ride this out. Those of you who think that I'm being obstructionist, and I'm being whatever you want to, what we are being called upon to do by a small clique of people in the country is to support wrongdoing, pretend not to know, and see if we can ride it out. We are not going to ride this out. $700 million worth of contract lands on the Princess Building ground. $700 million worth of contract lands on the Princess Building ground. $700 million worth of contract lands on the Princess Building ground. $700 million worth of contract lands on the Princess Building ground. $700 million worth of contract lands on the Princess Building ground. $700 million worth of $700 million 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 worth of contract lands on the Princess Building ground. Not a soul in Port of Spain, in Belmont, in Cascade, in Laventille, in Decomating, got 1 day's work there. $700 million worth of contract lands on the Princess Building ground. Not a soul in Port of Spain, in Belmont, in Cascade, in Laventille, in Decomating, got $700 million worth of contract lands on the Princess Building ground. Not a soul Princess Building ground. not a soul, not a soul, not a soul in, not a soul in Port of Spain, in Belmont, in Cascade, in Laventine. They go and think of 1 day's work there. Not a soul in Port of Spain, in Belmont, in Cascade, in Laventine. They go and think of 1 day's work there. Not a soul in Port of Spain, in Belmont, in Cascade, in Laventine. They go and think of 1 day's work there. Not a soul in Port of Spain, in Belmont, in Cascade, in Laventine. They go and think of 1 day's work there. Not a soul in Port of Spain, in Belmont, in Cascade, in Laventine. They go and think of 1 day's work there. 100% Chinese work. Design, construction, materials, everything. And I am supposed to support that. And if I don't support it, I get myself slandered in and out of Parliament by my own Prime Minister.
And that is where I am tonight. That lying Decepticon. Every single thing that he said in that whole speech in 2009 come back to haunt him. That is the petard we're supposed to hang them from politically. That he is a liar. Not one single person get a job from Diego Martin, from Lavantil. Hear him, hear him, hear him.
Not a soul in Port of Spain, in Belmont, in Cascade, in Laventine. Diego Martin got 1 day's work there.
Who have the work going on right now in Diego Martin? Who have it going on? $700 million. Why didn't tell them Keith Rowley is sitting in a cabinet that approved Napa for $136 million and it reached $700 million. $1.5 billion to build 2 things, Napa and Sapa, that was supposed to cost $250 million. Tobago, we counting on you. Tobago, it's in your hands. Tobago, you fix Tobago, and I promise you I will take night and make day and fix Trinidad. Tobago, I promise you we will work hand in hand. Fix Tobago. Not a damn seat for them, not a vote for them. Tobago, you know the criminal. Tobago, you know the money they hand in here is dirty money. Tobago, you know they pay blood money for them washing machine and TV. Tobago, Tobago, your vote will decide who we are as a nation. Tobago. Tobago, I want you to listen to these words, please. Don't just think about tonight and tomorrow. Don't think about what you're eating now and what on your plate now. I want you to remember the last 22 months of suffering in this country under this government when they shut it down and they lock it down and they closed off your avenues of revenues and left you to suffer and want to send you a bag of yam while they enrich their friends and their finances.
If it is that who you're voting, ready or not out. When you're voting, vote them out.
Vote them out.
If it is the prove it, to be yours, pull them out.
When you're voting, vote them out.
Vote them out. If it is the time is now, then
Change must come about. Just as how you vote them in.
vote them out.
People asking Phillip why you have the Bible. You know why I'm holding my Bible tonight? Because I'm going up against a Lekoto Jumbi. A man who telling you he know how to do all them kind of nastiness. Well, I stand on this book tonight. Under the blood of the precious blood of Jesus Christ. I stand on this tonight. Against those demons. Against those black magic workers. I stand with this book tonight. I stand with the good word. And I came here armed with this. To protect myself, a shield, a bubble of good words and good works to protect me from the people that I know that I had to bring out and expose. And I am calling on the people of Tobago to stand on the word of God, to believe that you deserve better, that your children deserve better, that there is no reason to vote for Satan, that there is nothing like going to hell for a heavenly cause. All they have in hell is hell. The PNM is hell. The PNM is squalor, poverty, misery. The PNM is ghetto. The PNM is mash up. Nothing good ever came out of this PNM. I call on the people of Tobago tonight. Cover yourself. Cover yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Go out to vote tomorrow doing God's work. Don't vote for no Satan who could vote, who could boast about his spirit-lash people.
Register and vote them out. If they can see, vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total skull and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power to dominate their reign. Let's put our country together again. If for 30 years you voting them in, and there's only tears as soon as they win. They give you big words and enslave your souls, promising you roads and giving potholes.
Chester, I'm turning on. Chester, I'm turning on the Bluetooth. I want either you or Challenger to call me. Chester, you hear me? Chester Birchwood. Challenger Birchwood. Bluetooth on. Connected. Chester or Challenger? 682-2110. Chester or Challenger? Birchwood. Speak for Tobago. We have two strong men from Tobago as part of our organization. Chester and Challenger Birchwood. One of you, please. 682-2110. Call through. Talk for Tobago. Lay your hands on Tobago. Appeal to the mothers of Tobago for their daughters. Appeal to the fathers of Tobago for their sons. Appeal to the human in everybody in Tobago to look at the conditions others live under. Chester. Let them hear. If their policy is a fallacy, their bureaucracy a catastrophe, if they cannot cope, and you're seeing so, good evening, my brother. Good evening, my brother. You hearing me? You hearing me? Good evening, my brother. You hearing me?
Hey, Phillip, can you hear me?
Breaking up bad, boy. But lousy connection here.
Hey, Phillip.
Yeah, I hearing you. You hearing me?
Yes, man. Yes, Phillip. How are you doing?
Boy, what I tell you, boy, I literally...
You know what? Let me call you directly.
Do that.
682-2110?
Do that for me.
Okay, let me call you directly.
Okay, bye.
Okay, all right. Hang up.
Yes, my brother.
Phillip.
Good night.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Hearing you clear as a bell now.
Good. All right, good. I'm glad. Listen, right now, the word on the ground the word on the ground is this. They don't want the PNM, and that's why they're desperate. They are truly, 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 truly desperate. That's what they're doing right now. They give them everything. They're paving roads. They give them refrigerators. Imagine you're going all the way to Charlottesville, all the way in North Rocky, in that hilly terrain, and carrying appliances, refrigerators, washing machines for people. Imagine the guys on the block, hanging out on the block, you give them $1,000. And sometimes you give them half the money and tell them to go in there and vote. And when they go inside and vote, you will go inside and vote and take a picture of your vote, of your voting card to show they put the X. They'll get the other half of the money. They're desperate. It's from one thing to the next, giving out grants. Sean Foucault, she's supposed to be have COVID and supposed to be under quarantine, and she's out there giving out grants.
Spreading COVID.
That's what kind of weird madness is going on. You understand? This is what's happening on the ground right now. They're paving every single thing they could see. It is their donkey trail they're paving. It is their dirt road they're paving. Every single thing they're paving. I was telling you, I had some lands that are a road. Let's cut the road, and they contracted who they hired. Or whatever the case, they said, you know what? You want the road paved? Well, not for me, because they know what's for me, right? And the guy said, yeah, pave it, and they paved our own road. I mean, it's like ridiculous. Everything, money is flying out left, right, and center. But you know what, Phillip? And the people already made up their minds. They do not want them there. The only people who want them there is those who, over the years, have been getting money from them because they have a party card. And this is what happened. And the truth of the matter is, they have a hardcore base of like 28%. I said 25% of the people who are hardcore PNM, and they're those in the range where they grew. Some of them grew up within that 21 years as a generation under the PNM, and then the extremely elderly ones who are PNM from way back when. Those who are in the 45 generation to 60, so that's 60, knows what the PNM is, and they don't want them. Nobody wants them. And this is what happened. Look, Tracy got one of the patients the day before yesterday. People do not want them. They're tired of them, because what people don't know is that they have created an aura of victimization and fear and corruption in Tobago. Totally. Nothing moves in Tobago unless you have to go through them. They destroyed private enterprise with the sea bridge. Even before they destroyed private enterprise, they destroyed that. So there's a sense of dependency. When a man has his land and he has his own business, he's independent. So the government has to pay attention to what he's saying, because he's independent of them. But when you create a dependency where 76% of the working population works for the THE, then you depend on the government to feed you, and this is what they have created, a huge voter bank.
But I want to ask you this. I want to ask you a question. Whoever coming into power have to find a way to get people independent again, but it doesn't necessarily mean that only the PNM, because the PNM don't own the THA.
No, they don't own the THA, but the first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna wallow through all the different corruption and the money that was misspent. They gotta deal with that issue first, because what's happening is that what they do, they say they're extremely smart. They'll set up roadblocks, and they'll say, you know what, where this money went, we need money for this, we need money for development. But guess what? During the election, $45 million was dispersed for development. But guess what? The money went over to $53 million. So therefore, all the first set of chunks of money that's supposed to be for development already went in the whole election gimmickry. That's what they're doing. So if, let's say, the PDP comes into office tomorrow, what's going to happen? They're going to find everything empty and they can't move on it. Everybody say, well, no, we voted for you, and what's happening, and why you can't, do some development like you say it's going to do. Well, we have no money. And we already threatened them and said, if the PDP comes into office, what's the first thing they're going to do is that you better watch out, because they're not going to be getting money that they think they're going to be getting. And I'm just paraphrasing what he said. So this is games that they're playing, and everything like that. And I'm telling you, it is downright dirty. It's the first time this is dirty.
No, but if PNM didn't have, if they didn't have a proper challenger in the PDP, Tobagonians wasn't getting nothing like this. And Tobagonians
there wasn't getting it. And the PDP didn't evolve. The PDP, like I told you, 6 years ago was the third party. When it evolved and became the challenging party or the secondary party, only like 2.5 years ago. That was it. 2 years ago. Actually, that was it. But they were actually the third party, right? Before, because there's another party before with Crystal Moore, and she controlled that party, and she lost out because they didn't have that background and everything like that, and they was picked up all the issues. And Washington came in, and he started from one person, and then from there he expanded out, and this is what happened. So that's why I say sometimes with the third party, everyone thinks it's no hope, but the third party many times. It started to build up because people see that the other party wasn't doing anything like the other party under Crystal Moore. They wasn't doing anything much, and even though they had under Kanga Prasad they had a lot of money, but the perception was they wasn't doing much, even though they were doing a lot, and that was the truth. But just that they want to project themselves like they should, and this part of the issue.
You
so
think
PDP
I want to ask you?
It's down to they're smart. It's down to a grassroots level, and that's what it is. And they're hitting all the emotional points, and they're hitting them hard because everyone knows that in Tobago, the PNM means fear and victimization. They can't speak out. If you speak out, they'll cut you off financially.
But I want to ask you a question.
Cut you off.
I want to ask you a question. The people in Tobago, different to people in Trinidad, as in that they are proud landowners and they have a deep entrepreneurial spirit. The people in Tobago, unlike Trinidadians, they don't do handout well. And I want to know, are the land-owning class in Tobago seeing what the government is trying to do? The people of East Port of Spain, how the government is moving on the properties of East Port of Spain, how this PNM is trying to take from their traditional supporters in Lavantil and East Port of Spain and to give to the 1%. Are the people in Tobago seeing what this government is trying to do and what it's capable of in Trinidad?
Yes, they are because everything is wide open right now. Because here's the reason. Here's the issue. There are two issues going on in Tobago. The two issues, and I have to kind of do a kind of historical perspective. I'm not trying to bore you, but after emancipation in Tobago, there was no such thing as crown lands. So in Trinidad, after emancipation, black people could have squatted on crown lands because there are a lot of crown lands in Trinidad. In Tobago, they never had that. So they had the sharecroppers, they become sharecroppers or the metal system or what it used to be. But anyhow, bottom line, when everything fell down, that a lot of abandoned estates. So there was a lot of land that was there in the abandoned estates. And sometimes land was given, sometimes land was taken. And some of the land that was given, there was no formal transfer of the land, let's say a deed between one person and the next.
But the law of adverse possession,
by hearsay.
the law of adverse possession that works in Trinidad is not the same law in Tobago?
Not at the time, because even though they had it.
Forget that. It doesn't matter. Even if you are squatting on private lands, once 16 years pass, you have adverse possession. You can claim the land.
But right, Phillip. But here's the issue. Here's the real true Tobago fundamental issue. Okay, I would say guesstimate. I would say 25%. No, I would say 2% of the people in Tobago have legitimate deeds for their land. The rest don't. There's a deed issue, there's a land title issue, and it's a deed issue.
Have they ever opened a Ministry of Legal Affairs in Tobago?
I'm sorry?
Have they ever opened a Ministry of Legal Affairs in Tobago, or do Tobagonians still have to come to Trinidad?
Yeah, right. No, it's under the THA. It's under the THA.
But they have, so they don't have to come Trinidad to work out deed and thing, right?
Right, but what happened, Philip, is that if it happens, it's a long arbitration process, and this is part of the issue, right? So now people largely transfer from grandfather or great grandfather to grandson or granddaughter and everything, and there's no title for the land, and that's what the teaching gets them, because there's no title for the land. It is no title for the land, even though it's as described yesterday, right, of adverse possession, right? The land has never any title for it. So how can you claim, like how they did with the airport, where other people had land there, but they want any titles. So they say, you know what, we could take the land and you could fight for it, but basically you have no title for it. So therefore we'll give you whatever it is, and they screw them royally on that. And when people tell us, push back and tell them, you know what, this is ridiculous, because why are we building this?
So has the PDP said,
we build a house here, we build this here, we build it, and the government comes back and said there's no title for the land and everything like that. And this
what is the PDP's position on that? What's the PDP's position on that airport?
You know, it's bullshit. That's what, as far as I'm concerned.
So the PDP will return people's properties. The PDP will cancel the airport project and return people's properties to them. Because they need to say that.
I think they're gonna work on that, because that's a real true issue, Philip. Yeah, what are you saying?
No,
yeah.
they should announce that. They should announce that they will cancel that airport project, and that they will return people's lands to them, and that they will sort out that land issue once and for all. Listen, I want to tell you something. Adverse possession is a natural law now, and you need to be able to put somebody in office who will sort out that once and for all. And once you could claim that you've been occupying unbroken for 16 years, you have a claim to the land.
Of course. And this is the whole thing. The land title is a big issue, because without the land title, you can't borrow to do business. So that's why.
Of course, you have no access to the equity. You have use, but you have no. But I'm saying, I understand that point, that you have use of the land, but you have no equity in the land. So you can't go to the bank and say, look, I'm sitting on $1 million property here. If you lend me $500,000, I will be able to build a guest house or whatever. They can't, because they don't have anything that they could sign to the bank to hold, and I understand that.
Well, exactly. And if you go around going to Tobago, yes, there were a lot of large houses to Tobago that the local people have done because of the entrepreneurial spirit. But if you look at the houses, Philip, just pay attention. There are a lot of the houses is building brick by brick by brick.
Absolutely, I know. And I spoke about that on a video 2 nights ago, that there are people who never borrow a cent from the bank and bill as they get, and they ended up accidentally powerful because they're independent of the banksters and they're independent of the government. So the government now trying to bully them off their lands, like what they did with the airport, for an airport that nobody needs. Tobago's airport is adequate to serve the needs of Tobago for the next 20 years of development. Where they needed to do was spend that $1 billion developing Tobago, developing the tourist sector in Tobago, and making sure that the people, but I don't want to go too far down this road. I want to ask you, because I just realized it's 2.5 hours are running now. I want to ask you a question. Could you speak to the people of Tobago who might hear this video? Could you speak to them? Could you give them some advice with their vote? Because I came out to do this video. I don't do a video on a Sunday night, but I came out to do this video tonight to appeal to Tobagonians to rescue the country from the PNM.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll say like it is. Tobagonians, this is your time. This is your time. This is your time right now to push the final colonizer out, which is the PNM. The PNM is a totally corrupted party. All they care about is themselves and nothing else. Take a look at Lavatil, take a look at Phillip, take a look at Beetham, see what they have produced. Why is that these hotspots area have to be their core constituency? Look and see what they're doing. And what they're doing, they're encircling you to create a dependency. And you don't want that, and you're proud people. You don't need that. You don't need to depend on nobody. And you always see how proud you are, and you always stand for this and stand for that. And it's time for you to show your mettle and show how your independence and your sense of forthrightness and truth and honesty. And you don't have to go along with what they're giving you. You don't sell your soul for $1,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 and $10,000 and lose your uniqueness of who you are. You don't need to do that. Because you know what? When you look back, you have to answer to your children, you have to answer to your grandchildren, and you have to explain to them that, you know what, because I took a bribe of $1,000 and $2,000.
You homeless today.
This country got destroyed.
And you homeless today. That we had this land.
Yeah.
That this fancy 1% business is on. This used to be our land. But I took $1,000 bribe in a t-shirt and cut your throat. And now we have nothing. That's exactly the point. That is a brilliant, well said point. That what Tobagonians need to realize is what they voted for now is their own safety and security from the government. This government cannot be trusted. That PNM cannot be trusted. They've demonstrated with how they handled the Sea Bridge, that whole fiasco that ran for years, destroyed people's businesses. It demonstrated when they were willing to bully and destroy people, to force sandals down people's throat, and they're doing the same thing with the blasted airport. This PNM cannot be trusted. The people of Tobago have a responsibility. And I, speaking for our organization, the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I'm saying to Tobago, we fully endorse and support the PDP, and we are the ones who stand strongest against the PNM and the UNC and continue to do that daily and nightly. And we are asking you, Tobago, please, rescue this country from the contract mafia that owns and operates these parties. And in Tobago, it is the PNM.
That's right. And if we push the PNM out of Tobago, Trinidad will fall with the PNM.
We will push the PNM out of Trinidad. Help us. Help us.
The revolution has started. Push them out.
Well said, brother. Thank you very much for reaching out. Thank you very much for calling. Yeah?
Anytime.
Any closing words?
Anytime. Just the only thing is that for Tobago and Trinidad, for Tobago right now for the election, just think about your future, think about your families, think about your children, the same children you love, that you'll go to the beach every day. Well, of course, the demon, he has closed the beach to you. So now the beach that's supposed to be your sense of enjoyment on a Sunday, we can't do that anymore as a family get together thing like we used to do in Tobago, because we just destroyed. That destroyer, that your ancestors have never voted for him, and he lost the election, and that's why he went to Trinidad.
They run him out of Tobago. They run him out of Tobago, I hear.
Yes, he was run out of Tobago, and he lost the election. And what Eric Williams did, he punished Tobago for losing the election. And what he did, the Ministry of Tobago Affairs sent to Trinidad, transferred 70% of the Tobago government workers who was working in Tobago to Trinidad to find rent, find somewhere to live, and everything like that. And the rest was people stay behind, because my mother was a postmistress for Roxborough. And I'll never forget this, right? For 1 year, the government employees in Tobago never got paid for 1 flipping year.
Wow.
And you know what? You know how we
that
survived?
Is hate.
And I'm just telling like it is. You know how we survived, Phillip? I'll tell you how we survived. We survived that we had coconut trees on our land, and we used to get the dry coconuts and husk them and take the kernel out and dry them out and send them to Trinidad in coconut bags so they could make coconut oil. That's how we made our money. Okay? I just sell mangoes and the mango tree in the stores. That's how I've been entrepreneur from such a young age. This is what we have to be doing to survive. And I was like 12, 13 years old at the time.
Wow.
I'll never forget this. All because Wally was run out of Tobago. Eric Williams turned around and punished Tobagonians for a friggin' year. And this is what he did. That's why I hate him with everything I got.
Hate is the PNM, brother. PNM represents hate.
Black people, they don't like you. And it's as simple as that. I can't make it better. I can't make it more worse than that. They hate you. They don't like you. They use us pawns. And then when they can't get their way, They will inflict the worst punishment they can on you. That's what it is. You take them and with them and they're talking the nonsense about whatever they do and the spirit lash. I don't give too crap about what
I walk with my Bible tonight just in case.
History of that. Hello?
I walk with my Bible tonight just in case.
No, Philip, trust me, Philip. I got one idea. I'll talk to you privately.
I'm waiting on that.
I'm
I'm waiting
Catholic
on
just like you.
I'm
And
waiting on that.
Catholics make up only 10% of the population in Tobago, but yet when they do stuff, they'll come and deal all with the Catholics. I'm not too sure why. You know, I was in the St. Vincent de Paul, and I was in the charismatic movement, so I could tell you a lot of stuff, but I wanna get into it right now with that. Okay?
Brother,
I
thank
don't
you.
have the same age, by the way. So there's stuff you probably met me before, and you probably didn't know. You probably didn't.
Probably,
know.
probably, yeah.
Because, my mother used to go to Living Waters, so a charismatic movement.
Seriously, you know, today, just today, we had, but today,
and I read at the Pope Mass, and I used to be involved in a lot of stuff in the Catholic movement in Trinidad.
I did not know that. I did not.
I was supposed to be a priest. That didn't work out.
But we have the same story. We really have to have this conversation. I was ready to join the seminary anyway. Let me bore the listeners. You and I will talk that when I see you. Thank you for making the call. Thank you for making the call, brother. Stay strong.
Okay. So we'll talk about it. But yeah, but like I said, we're going for it. Everybody just stay calm. Tomorrow we see what the result is. And from what I'm hearing on the ground, once they don't tamper the elections, the PDP will win.
We're doing a panel tomorrow night. Get in touch with Satish and prepare yourself for that.
Got it. Okay, no problem. What time starting, you think?
Get a message, Satish.
Okay. All right, I'll talk to you. All right, Phil. I'll leave you guys alone. Have a good night, man. I'll watch you from here on here.
Later.
Okay. All right.
He right. Hate is the PNM. The PNM shares hate. The PNM shares hate. You care about people, PNM. Come on, fix C-Lots. Asking you that for 20 years. Come on, fix Beatum. Fitzgerald Hines, you care about Beatum so much. You want to come and beat Paul. Sell the house in Hillsborough and go and live in Beatum. Why you wouldn't live in Beatum? It's plenty more centrally located than Hillsborough. You get anywhere, you need to go faster. Why do you want to live in Beatum, Hines? Chaining up them people. Hate is the PNM, not great. Hate. Anyway, I gave all you 2.5 hours tonight. He talking just today. My father, my family was here. He was talking Living Waters, and my parents is like founding members in that. PNM, who you care about? Only contract mafia. Only your friends and financiers. And enslave your souls, promising you roads. That them alone can flout. Before they just use out, thief out, sell out and digs out. We want a judicial review of ivermectin, eh? We were talking to you all about that Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, people of Tobago, it's on you. People of Tobago. A catastrophe.
If they cannot work, and you see it so, then your only hope
It's for them to go.
if it is fabrication, these statements that they spout.
When you're voting,
If it is the frustration that's make you want to shout when you're voting, before they misuse out, teapots and loud and leaks up. If it you who put them in,
you want to know how nasty this dictatorship is? You want to know why they had to get rid of Gary Griffith? Because Gary Griffith would enforce the law across the board, not PNM law. Gary Griffith would have enforced normal law. Here it is. A large crowd of PNM supporters gathered close to the Buko Multipurpose Center tonight in what they say is a last lap before election day. Several people at the scene said 7 police vehicles with heavily armed officers attempted to disperse the crowd. However, the eyewitnesses said the officers left after speaking to the incumbent representative of the area, the PNM's Ansel Dennis. The Alsing done talk to COVID. While he weeping for the protesters in the savannah, the gathering outside Buko Multipurpose, COVID can't spread there, you lying piece of shit. Terrence the Alsing, you lying piece of shit. If I had a time machine, I'd use it twice to go back in time and give your father and Rowley father a condom each and rescue this country from all the nastiness.
people must come first. Citizens by right. None of we are worse. Yellow, black, or white. Food, shelter, and clothes. Free movement and speech. A garden that grows. And one love for each. If it is that injustice is what they always show.
That's injustice.
When you're voting,
Lock up people in Trinidad for protesting against PNM. But PNM supporters can rally. Time to stand up, eh? Trinidad and Tobago. Time to stand up. You hear me? It's just a puppy show. When elections day come tomorrow, Tobago, all PNM bandit must go. All them financiers, all they're talking about that ripping off the THA and robbing the treasury. Make them cry tomorrow. Make them weep. Let them worry that a PDP administration in office will find and expose their file. I bet you if PNM lose tomorrow, the accounting office burn down. I bet you. Money bet. The accounting office burn down because every file inside of there could jail PNM ministers. This is a mad country where the police who are sent to enforce the law in Trinidad do a different enforcement of the law because it's PNM supporters. That is insanity. We cannot stand for that. We cannot stand for that. Hear me say it again. We cannot stand for that. That is madness. No to dictatorship. No. And we need to be a united and strong opposition to this. We need to be the existing opposition too weak. If we were in parliament, you could imagine me and Watson Duke in that parliament. You could imagine me and Watson Duke in that parliament. I think Rowley get away with half the shit he get away with. You need lions. That's what you need. You need alpha dogs. You need big guns inside of there. You need us. We to stand together. You need people who can stand up. You need people with the verbal firepower to stand up against them. That's what you need. Do it. Start now. Vote PDP tomorrow. Handsomely. Completely. Comprehensively. Let the story break on Tuesday morning that the PNM collapse has begun. Take care of it in Tobago. We'll handle it from here in Trinidad. I'm doing a live panel tomorrow night. We're going to have very esteemed members. We'll be broadcasting on all the cable channels. Until then, stay safe, Trinidad. And do the right thing tomorrow, Tobago. Vote for the PDP. Help us rid this country of the cancer that is the PNM comorbid.